Today we will cover the most important topic of Java programming, especially for the interview point of view and project development point of view. So this topic is very important. So that is Java collection framework. So first of all, so we will know what is a collection. Collection means a group of data items. A group of, particularly in Java programming context, group of individual objects. Suppose we will assign a data item. Suppose one integer data item I will assign into a collection. Suppose 100, but the compiler, the control will treat that is integer object data. Integer is a class name. So a group of individual objects or a group of individual data items but treated as a single entity. Treated as a single entity. So that's why this point I wrote, any group of individual objects which are represented as a single unit is known as collection of objects. So collection means, in general, suppose collection of books, collection of mobiles, collection of pens, a group of data items. But here a group of, just one point I am adding, homogeneous or heterogeneous data items. Homogeneous or heterogeneous data items. Homogeneous means similar types of data items or multiple types of data items. Okay, so a group of homogeneous or heterogeneous data items treated as a single entity, so that is known as collection. So particularly in Java programming context, so there is a framework. Framework means what? This point I have written, Java provides a comprehensive framework known as the Java Collections Framework or Java Collection API that offers various interfaces, classes and algorithms to manage and manipulate collections of objects efficiently. So framework means, so Java is providing a vast or wide range of built-in classes, built-in interfaces, built-in methods, okay, to manage and manipulate collections. We will discuss how we manage and manipulate collections. Okay, so this point that I have added, what is a framework? So you will go through this point, and what is, so particularly in Java framework, totally entire Java collection framework consisting root to interfaces, then from that root to interfaces, so many implementation classes that are coming to our picture that we will discuss. So first interface is a collection and another interface is map interface. Java.util.collection, maximum times, you guys remember, maximum time the interviewer asks, do you know util package? So in my experience that I'm saying, so when I was struggling, so I have faced many times, so this word, so interviewer asking, so do you know util package? So util package, that means collection framework. any collection code, whatever the program we will write, it is mandatory that first that we have to import a package, that is java.util package. Java.util package. Currently, I told, so it is providing a wide range of classes, wide range of interfaces. So every class and interface, whatever we will use in this context, so coming from java.util package, you remember. So basically Java collection framework consisting two interfaces. Basically we are saying that is two root interfaces. One is java.util.collection, that means collection is an interface. Then these are the sub interface, set, queue, whatever we will discuss, whatever the points coming to our picture we will discuss. And another is java.util.map. Java.util.collection, that is one interface, and java.util.map, that is one interface. Okay, so you remember java.util.collection. Collection is an interface and one is java.util.map interface. Then from collection, so we will see some sub interfaces. Okay, so first we will cover particularly in this context. So in collection, so there is a sub interface. There is a sub interface means child interface, that is list. So list is the child interface of collection. Okay, so list is the child interface of collection, and then under list we will cover one implementation class, that is ArrayList. First that we will know these things. Collection is an interface, list is a sub interface of collection, ArrayList is the implementation class of a list interface. Not only ArrayList is one implementation class of list, other implementation classes that we have, so that is linked list, vector, stack. So all are ArrayList, linked list, vector, stack. These four implementation classes. These four classes are implementation classes of a list interface. But we will cover ArrayList because particularly this ArrayList concept we will use in project development or we will go for interview. Okay, so overall I hope everybody got clarity. What is a collection? Collection means a group of individual data items, a group of individual homogeneous or heterogeneous data items, or we can say a group of individual objects but treated as a single entity. So collection is an interface present in java.util package. Collection framework means, so this point I have written here, collection framework. So Java is providing a comprehensive framework that is known as Java collection framework. Collection framework means Java collection API. API means application programming interface. API is a document. API is a developed document containing so many built-in classes and built-in interfaces. Containing so many built-in classes and so many built-in interfaces. Okay, so actually the concept of collection came for eliminating the disadvantages of array. Array containing homogeneous data items, that is one disadvantage. Size is fixed, that is one another disadvantage. does not containing some ready-made methods. So any operation, if we want to perform on array, explicitly we have to write the code. But here, so adding a new data item, so there are some built-in function within a one line of code that we can do that. We can resolve. So as a result, code complexity will reduce. We will get high performance. Okay, so if you will go through the documentation side. So this is the Oracle documentation side collection framework. So Java platform includes a collection framework. A collection is an object that represents a group of objects. A collection framework is a unified architecture for representing and manipulating collections, enabling collections to be manipulated independently or implementation details. Okay, so this is the official documentation. Okay, so collection framework is nothing but an architecture, okay, or it is an API, so which is containing various classes and interfaces for representing and manipulating collections. Okay, so another point, enabling collections to be manipulated independently of implementation details. That means there are some implementation classes that we will consider, we will use that implementation classes for resolving whatever we have the problem statement. Advantage, so you will go through this documentation, you can get lots of points, reducing programming effort, everything that you can get this point. Okay, so then first we will know what is array list, and before that, so little bit point that we have to know what is list. List. So it is a data structure. No doubt, list is a data structure, or we can say it is a collection. It is a data structure. This collection, suppose one point I wrote, it is a data structure. So data structure means what? Data structure means what? Data structure is a way where we store data, not only we store data, some operations that we perform. Okay, searching operation, sorting operation, inserting operation, deleting operation, merging operation, some basic operations that we can perform. So list is a data structure, or we can say it is a collection in Java. Then question is, there are various collections. One point also you can write, it is a sub interface of a collection. It is a sub interface of collection. It is a sub interface of collection. It is a data structure. Then point is, there are various collections, list, set, queue, map. There are various collections. Then in which scenario we will use the concept of a list as collection? That is important. One point I'm writing, and I will explain. When we want to represent a group of data items, where duplicates are allowed. When we want to represent a group of data items where duplicates are allowed and insertion order is preserved, then we use list as collection. You remember? So duplicates are allowed. This point is one feature. Duplicates are allowed. and insertion order is preserved. Insertion order is preserved. So this 2 points is feature. Suppose I will represent a list. We will see how to represent. I will insert, I will add, I will assign some data items. Suppose I assigned, suppose 100, then 200, then 100. So 100, 200, 100. Suppose I will assign 100, 200, then 100. So here 100 is a duplicate data item. Then suppose I will insert 500. So this is duplicate data item 100 and 100. Then duplicates are allowed. Duplicates are allowed. There is no problem. So 2 times I have taken, 2 times it will display. Insertion order is preserved. So what is the meaning of this point? So insertion order is preserved means in which order we will insert the data item. In same order we will get the data item. I inserted 100, then I have inserted 200, then I have inserted 100, then I have inserted 500. So when I will get the data item, so in this way 100, 200, 100, 500. In this way that also we can get the data item. Okay, so duplicates are allowed. You remember this is a feature. Duplicates are allowed and insertion order is preserved. Duplicates are allowed and insertion order is preserved. This is the feature of a list. So I hope everybody got clarity. Then we will go to the next point, the first implementation class, and that is very important and widely we will use in project development. So that collection is ArrayList. I have written in my site ArrayList. You go to my python-tutorials.com. This is my tutorial site. So I have written so some note point, some theoretical note point. Then we will go to our program. So ArrayList. So first point, ArrayList is an implementation class of list interface, no doubt. Then second point is underlying a data structure is resizable array. So what is the meaning of this line? Underlying data structure is resizable array. That means when I will declare an ArrayList object representing what? An ArrayList object representing an ArrayList. So when I will create an ArrayList object, because ArrayList is a class name. So internally, so an array is creating, and that array will contain our data items. But that array is resizable array. So that's why I have written underlying data structure is. That means when an ArrayList object we are creating, internally a resizable array is creating. Here resizable array means, we will see what is the meaning of resizable array. Okay, so here size is not fixed. That array size we can increase or we can decrease. We will see. So what is the meaning of resizable array? Since it is the implementation class of list interfaces, so list feature is also here. Duplicates are allowed, insertion order is preserved. Then null insertion is possible. Null insertion is possible. Then heterogeneous data items are allowed. So this collection containing homogeneous or heterogeneous data items. Then some points implements serializable and clonable and random access interface. Serializable, in my yesterday that we had studied, serializable is a marker interface So clonable interface and random access interface, serializable, clonable, random access, all are three built-in interfaces. All are three built-in interfaces. So serializable means, so definitely a class is implementing or implements serializable. That means that collection, so Java supported form can convert into transport supported form. One collection, suppose we have a petty, one petty biscuit that we have, so I can send to your hostel. Okay, so that usable form converted into network supported form, or yesterday that we have studied file supported form. So every collection, whatever in collection framework context, currently current class, regarding current class we will discuss. So array list can be serializable. That means, so array list object we can perform serialization and deserialization. Clonable, a virtual copy. Suppose I sent a document, a collection of documents to you. So that document needs some changes like that you are thinking, but on that document you cannot change, because if you will change, then another object wants to access that document. So same document, same state of that document, that another object cannot access. So at that time, what the user will do, the user will create a virtual copy of that document. So if that is the concept, so internally the corresponding class should implement clonable interface. Then random access interface. Random access interface means, suppose you think you have an array. Suppose you have created an array list object. Internally an array is creating. Suppose that array containing 10,000 data items, 10,000 number of data items. So that means 0 to 999,999. So suppose suppose I retrieved first data item and it took 1 millisecond. Then suppose I accessed 500 index data item, same 1 millisecond. It will take same 1 millisecond. So retrieving data, if it is my frequent operation, then ArrayList is the best choice. Okay, so suppose I can show you also. So internally an array is creating. Internally an array is creating. So this is an array. 0th index, 1 index, 2 index, this. So this data item, if I will access, let it will take 1 millisecond. This data item, if I will access, it will take 1 millisecond. Okay, same time complexity. Only that is possible. So due to random access interface. So our class ArrayList implementing what, or implements random access interface. So advantage is, when my frequent operation is retrieval, then ArrayList is the best choice. But if my frequent operation is insertion or deletion in the middle, then ArrayList is the worst choice. You see, suppose I want to insert a data item here, then I have to create an in position. So in this position, so suppose a new data item I added 50. So after inserting new data item, now this in the position will be 2 index. Now that 2 index will be 3 index. 3 index will be 4 index. 4 index will be 5 index. So shifting operation, huge shifting operation that we can get. And you think and imagine, if my array list size is 10,000, then how many number of shifting operations? Similarly, suppose if I will delete suppose a data item. This data item suppose 100. This data item suppose I will delete. So if I will be delete. So again shifting operation, 5 will be 4, 4 will be 3, 3 will be 2, index value will change. So if our frequent operation is retrieval, then ArrayList is the best choice. If our frequent operation is insertion or deletion in the middle, then ArrayList is the worst choice due to huge shifting operations. So this is all about ArrayList. I hope everybody got clarity. Then we will go to the next point. Some constructors that we will know. Some constructors. So constructors. Suppose first constructor. Suppose constructors. ArrayList. So this is a constructor. So we know that when a constructor is executing, when an object is creating, constructor is executing. If I will declare an object, let a ArrayList AL equals to new ArrayList. New ArrayList. This. So when this line will execute, so internally, what is happening? Internally, an array is creating. Okay. So default size is, current size is 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, this. So 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So this array list name is so AL. So current capacity is 10. I have written here. So once an array list object we are declaring, create an empty array list object with default initial capacity is 10. Okay. So now suppose I will assign some data items 10, 20, 10, 30. Some data items I will insert. Null insertion is possible. Multiple means homogeneous data items are allowed. 40, 50. So in this way I can write suppose some data items I assign. Now when array list reaches its max position, when array list reaches its max position means that means 0 to 9 index containing all data items. When array list reaches its max position and after that I want to insert a new data item, and after that I want to insert a new data item, that means 0 to 9 index, all index have a data item. Now the array list is full. Then after that I want to insert a new data item. It is possible because currently we studied underlying data structure is resizable array. Underlying data structure is resizable array. We can enhance the size of array. But how? So here this array cannot enhance. So particularly in this case, what is happening? When array list reaches its max position and after that we want to insert a new data item, then what will happen? A bigger array list will create. A bigger array will create. A new array will create. Then new capacity. This is the default capacity is 10. Current capacity is 10. Then when array list reaches its max position, after that we want to insert a new data item, then new capacity, array list new capacity will be 10 into 3 by 2 plus 1. Okay, 10 into 3 by 2 plus 1, this is 16. So a new array list will create. So new array list will get 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. So 16 means index 0 to 15. 0, 1, 2, 3. So this is 15. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. Now, a new array list will create. This is the mechanism. Then, so this data item will assign here, 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 this data item will assign here. Here, new data item will insert here. Let my new data item is 100. Okay, now this array list, it is a memory. So this array list, so will be garbage. Will be garbage. So in Java programming, once garbage created, it will collect automatically. Then remaining spaces are blank. So this is the point. So when an array list object we are declaring an array list object internally, an array is creating, size is 10, current capacity is 10. Then when array list reaches its max position and after that we want to insert a new data item, then a new array is creating. So having new capacity is 10 into or current capacity into 3 by 2 plus 1. Then this type of declaration, so anytime we cannot use. Suppose my requirement is I will assign 100 data items into an array list. So this type of declaration, if I will take for representing 100 data items, so it will be tedious. First, I will declare array list object 10, then all 0 to 9 index will contain data items, then a new data item I will add, then 16. Then when 16 data items will fill, then a new data item I will add, then 16 into 3 by 2 plus 1. Then after the new capacity into 3 by 2 plus 1. So it will be tedious. Then directly we can take. So at the time of array list object declaration, so we can take. So second constructor is, so directly in this way that you can take. So second object declaration that we can take in this way, array list al equals to new array list. Okay, int initial capacity. Int initial capacity. So directly we can, suppose my requirement is I want to assign 100 data items. So directly within bracket I can write 100. I can specify 100. That means a resizable array will create. So having capability to contain 100 data items. This is one point. Then another point is ArrayList AL equals to new ArrayList. So within bracket collection C. So what is the meaning of this line? So this point in later on that we will cover for any collection object. For any collection, till now, so this is our first point that we are studying. But when we will acquainted with multiple collections, So for any collection object, we can create an equivalent array list. So that type of question is coming in later on that we will cover. Okay, so these are array list constructors. So constructors will execute automatically when this type of object we are declaring. So one constructor, so having no argument, then one constructor having one argument, that is int initial capacity, then one constructor having another argument collection C. That means for any collection object we can create an equivalent array list. Then we will go to a program. So I hope everybody got clarity. So I will go to a program. So import java.utility.star package. So any collection program, not only here, any collection program, if I want to write, so it is mandatory that you have to import java.utility package, because the collection framework consisting two main interfaces, two root interfaces, that is java.utility.collection, another is java.utility.map. So now, so I will take an example. Let class array list example, let public static void main, let string args. Okay, so now one array list object. So various ways we can declare array list objects. Maximum time. So in this way, list al equals to new array list. This is the one way that we can declare an array list object. There is no problem. Or very simple things are of class name, object name equals to new class name. This. Sometimes okay, first this type of declaration we'll see, then we will go to another approach. Okay, so one array list object I declared. So there are ready-made methods, because advantage is some ready-made methods are what supported. So add method, there is a built-in method, add method. Okay, so I will take 100 al dot add. So a string value, suppose I will take. Okay, so multiple types of values, heterogeneous data items. Al dot add, so null value is possible, null insertion is possible. Al dot add, let 300. Al dot add the duplicate data item 100, suppose I will take. Okay, Al dot add, let 500. Then system dot out dot println, system dot out dot println al. Simple. One simple array list representation that I have presented. Simply, I took an array list object, then by invoking add method is a simple ready-made method. By invoking add method, I assigned some data items. So now I will save ArrayList example.java. I will do all files. I will save. Go to command prompt. So a drive, then I will go to Java program folder, then Java C ArrayList example.java. Then Java. This is not error. This is a warning. So since I will explain why this 2 point is coming. So collection array list, actually it is a generic type. So within angle bracket, So which type of data item? Suppose 100 is int, John is string. So which type of data item you are assigning that corresponding type? If I will take, so this type of point is not coming. This note to note point will not come to our picture. So this is not error. Java space class name array list example. You see, I got the outputs. So within square bracket, I got the outputs. 100, John, null, 300, 100, 500. You see the output. Duplicates are allowed. Duplicates are allowed. Insertion order is preserved. First, I had inserted 100, I got 100. Then I had inserted John, I got John. Then I had inserted null, I got null. So in which order? In which order we had inserted, in same order we got data. Then this null value I am taking al dot add, suppose null. Now I am saving Java C ArrayList example dot Java, then Java space class name ArrayList example. Okay, so I got the collection. You can insert a new data item. You can remove. There is like add function. There is a remove function. Directly, you can remove a particular data item. You can remove what a data item along with index, means 3 index data item I want to remove. In 4 index I want to insert. Suppose this is 0th index data item. This is 1 index data item. This is 2 index data item. This is 3 index data item. Suppose in 3 index data item I want to insert a new data item. So I can write in this way al dot add. So in 3 index 3 comma new data item, suppose I want to add let silicon tech. Suppose I want to add. That means in 3 index data item, so the data item silicon tech will add. System dot out dot println al. So now I will save. So I will go to command prompt cls Java C ArrayList example.java, then Java space ArrayList example. You see in 3 index, so a new data item silicon tech added. In 3 index, a new data item silicon tech added. Okay, so you can remove also, there is no problem. Okay, so I hope you got clarity. Then at a time, all the data items are coming. When I am printing, I want to print. So system, this line is executing. So at a time, all data items are coming. And you see list means square brackets. If the data items, this point you remember, the data items coming within a square bracket, or basically it is called a subscript symbol also. So that is representing list. Now my question is, I want to retrieve all data item one by one. I want to retrieve the data item one by one. So for that, what we have to do? So for that, so Java provides three cursor, and one is enumeration, one is iterator, and one is list iterator. One is cursor, enumeration, one is iterator, one is list iterator. I will explain all these things, but currently So that I'm explaining, but slowly I will cover all points. Nowadays, enumeration is outdated because this all are interfaces, built-in interfaces. So enumeration is used to retrieve all data items from vector. But nowadays, vector is outdated because the class vector is an implementation class of list interface introduced in 1.0 version. The class which is introduced in 1.0 version, basically that class we are considering as legacy. So that's why enumeration is outdated. Iterator and list iterator, basically we say that is universal cursor. Universal cursor in the sense I told, so from any collection, not only from ArrayList, from any collection, if I want to retrieve data item one by one from any collection, if I want to retrieve data item from one by one, then we can use what? Iterator or list iterator. So then how using iterator? Iterator is an interface. So how using iterator concept? Okay, we can retrieve data item one by one. Then you see, first point is concept is saying I will get an object of iterator. I will get first iterator object. Let iterator. Okay, object name is suppose let it IT suppose. Okay, so it is an interface. It is not a class. So if it will be class, then I can write class object name equals to new class name. But it is an interface. So how I will get an iterator object? So there is a method. Method name is also iterator, but I is small. That will invoke by any collection. So now here my collection object name is AL. AL dot iterator. Iterator is a method name. Okay. So when this method is invoking by AL, AL is the ArrayList object, our collection. So when iterator method is invoking by AL, it is returning iterator objects. In this way, we are getting iterator objects. Okay. So when iterator method, it is a method, but this iterator, it is a method. I is of lowercase. This and this is different. Okay. So now one while loop I am taking. Okay. IT dot, so there is a method has next method, then I will write system dot out dot println it dot next method. This. So what I wrote, simply I wrote a loop while condition. If condition is true, then this is the loop body. Loop body will execute. After executing loop body, the control will come to this position. Again, it will evaluate. Already we all have known what is the loop mechanism. So whatever the loop mechanism, so accordingly it will execute. So within bracket, what I have written, it dot has next method. So has next method is invoking by iterator object. So this method coming from iterator interface. So what is the purpose of has next method? The purpose is what? Has next method returning a boolean value. Has next method is a such method, it is returning a boolean value, whether it will be true or false. The meaning is there any object data in IT? Yes, because AL containing what? 100, 300, 100, 500 silicon, tech, silicon. So some data items already we have seen. So all AL, so whatever the data item containing by AL, so that I have assigned into IT. So IT, so is the iterator object. So is there any data item? Yes, first data item 100 available. If is there any data item available, how's next? So is there any next data item available? If available, then it is returning true. So if it is available, then body will execute. Body is it.next method returning next data item. So control is already available before the first data item. So first next method returning first data item. Then after executing the body, the control will go to again this expression. Again it will evaluate, yes, is there any next data item available? Yes, available. If it is available, then this line will execute. Next method returns next data item. 100 next data item is 300. Then 300 will print. Then after executing the body, again control will go to this expression. Again it will evaluate if is there any data item available. If available, then it is true. If it is true, then this line will execute. So in this way, one by data item it will print. And when it will be false, when there is no data item available, the control will say, so it will be false. When it will be false, then loop will terminate. So when loop will terminate, so we will get all these things. So this output statement, suppose I will give the comment. So this is one output statement, and this is one output statement. So based on these two output statement, so we can see the output. You see, CLS Java C ArrayList example.java, then Java space ArrayList example. You see, so first output statement, so the list within square bracket it is coming. So all data items. Then in a while loop, I have written one output statement. So here data item retrieved one by one. Okay, so this is one of the important point as a fresher interview question. What is iterator? Iterator is an interface. Basically, in this context, we say it is a cursor. So what is the purpose of this cursor? So it is used to retrieve data one by one from a collection. It is used to retrieve data one by one from a collection. So I hope everybody got clarity what is ArrayList.